Hello there and a very good morning wherever you are watching us from this Wednesday of 5th of April 2023. I hope that you're having a fine morning as I am having one here. It is time for Kirk in the morning. My name is Vincent Kerosi. We have a lot lined up for you in the show today, including our conversation where we want to look at what is happening in the country pertaining the truce that was, or is it that was actually struck between the opposition and the government. But yesterday the opposition came out again with new demands, what they call the irreducible minimums, if this is going to go forward. We'll have a look at that. And remember that this show is live on Facebook as well as our YouTube channel, Kirk TV Kenya. You can also weigh in through our SMS number 0111220004, or you can also text us on our social pages, Kirk TV Kenya on Facebook, Kirk TV_Kenya on Twitter, and we'll be able to sample what you say this morning. But first things first, as we always do, time to have a look at what is happening on the roads this morning. Well, let's have a look at a few of the roads leading to the CBD this morning. Let's have a look at Langata Road here first and how it is this morning. It's moving all the way from Galleria Mall, but when you move closer to Wilson Airport, there's a little bit of traffic inbound to the CBD and quite some traffic at the roundabout at T-Mall connection to Mbagathwe, which I also see that has a lot of traffic this morning all the way to Kenya Defence Forces Memorial Hospital. There's a little bit of traffic there. Let's have a look at what is happening on other roads. Ngong Road this morning, how does it look? Ngong Road is bumper to bumper all the way from Adams Arcade going all the way to NHIF there. There is a little bit of traffic there, connection with the Upper Hill Road as well, a little bit of traffic this morning. Let's have a look at other roads this morning, probably Mombasa Road and how it looks this morning. Mombasa Road is not as bad, it's moving, but just some traffic around Nyayo Stadium there. But generally Mombasa Road is a little bit of friendly this morning. The expressway, of course, moving without any traffic there. Let's have a look at Jogoo Road this morning, if I can find Jogoo Road this morning, how it looks. Jogoo Road, it's a bit of traffic. When you connect from of course all the way from Makadara going all the way to Bama there's a lot of traffic there. If you can avoid Jogoo Road, please do, because it is not friendly at all this morning. Let me have a look at what is happening on Thika Road this morning as well. Thika Road, a lot of traffic all the way from KCA University to Pangani. It doesn't look friendly at all this morning. So if you are using that route this morning, kindly be braced for a lot of traffic on your way to the CBD this morning. Maybe I can conclude by having a look at what is happening on Waiyaki this morning. Waiyaki, not so much of traffic there. It's a little bit friendly today. All the way connected to even Chiromo Road. I look at here, it's very friendly this morning. So basically that is what is happening on the roads this morning. But let me have a look at one or two feedback that you are saying on the roads this morning. Driving on Chiromo lane from Waiyaki to Ojiji Road is like going through three time zones. Smooth at the beginning, but by the third stretch it's like driving on craters. This is at Acholam who is saying that. There is Damaris T001 who says transport, he has tweeted to Transport KE as well as at Keep Morcom, and this is the CS of transport. Of course, something has to be done on Waiyaki Hapo Expressway. All matatus use the 4 lanes and go and block entry to Expressway. Is there a point of having it as Expressway if the matatus block the entry? That is Damaris T001 there. Maybe have a look at one more here. This is at Angry Birds 40. He is tweeted at Sakaja Johnson. Next, please sort out the mess around Westland roundabout. Motorists recklessly drive on the sidewalks, putting pedestrians in harm's way. Nairobi must work for everyone. Now, the very last one here from at PM Tour 2012, who says, Asal community, I used it last week and sikuona hatari unasema namna gani. I think he's talking about a diversion kutoka Kilifi kwenda Mombasa. Ni hatari, motor fire, but I think someone else has said that he used it last week and he didn't really see any danger there. Basically, that is what is happening on the roads this morning. Well, after the roads, let's have a look at what is happening on the, or what is written by the 2 top dailies in the country this morning. Together with me, I have the Daily Nation and the Standard. Let's begin by having a look at what is written in the Daily Nation this morning. The top page of the Daily Nation: Ruto, Raila clash on ceasefire deal. And they've asked a question there: is it a U-turn? Azimio chief takes issue with the president's statement on Sunday, arguing that it fell short of what had been agreed upon by their team of negotiators, insisting that Parliament cannot address all their core issues, and suggests a process akin to the 2008 National Accord. Of course, that story is covered on page 4, and this is what they are writing. President William Ruto and opposition leader Raila Odinga are on a new collision course barely 2 days after calling a political ceasefire amid countrywide mass protests. Mr. Odinga yesterday spurned an offer by the head of state to have the opposition's grievances addressed by a bipartisan team in Parliament, instead calling for a process similar to the National Accord of 2008. And this were the talks that were brokered between Odinga then and the President Kibaki by Kofi Annan, and that is what Odinga is calling for. So that story is covered on page 4 of the Standard this morning, and they've also done a very good book serialization there. Congratulations, Mr. President. A winner is finally declared, but then a fallout ensues. Of course, that is just a serialization of a book that has been written there. And there is a sad story here. Miranda sent my son home. I found his body at a mortuary gate. A family from Gesima in Nyamira County is mourning their son who died in an accident as he traveled home from Miranda High School after he was sent home for fees. Protest Mogaka and the other 4 passengers died when their 14-seater matatu collided head-on with a trailer at Amabuko, a few meters from Keroka town in Kisii County. A sad story indeed. Let's have a look at the Standard, the top page of the Standard this morning. The truth on my deal with Ruto. Azimio leader Raila Odinga breaks silence on intrigues behind efforts to broker Sunday ceasefire with President Ruto's administration, even as the opposition tables fresh demands it wants addressed, as well as proposing a new structure for the talks. Story also covered on page 6 of the Standard. And they've also captured a few quotes from the 2 leaders there and from the president. The history you have of a handshake is where there was a fusion of government with the opposition, and the results were very disastrous for Kenya. There wasn't any accountability. The whole system went rogue. That's the President William Ruto there. And also a quote from the opposition leader Raila Odinga: "We have never talked about a handshake. That is a language coming from the other side. Tell Mr. Gachagua I do not even want to shake his hand." Now, what Azimio wants, there are also 5 irreducible minimum according to Azimio coalition. First is the cost of living. Addressing high prices of commodities is urgent and cannot wait. And number 2, election servers. They want the election servers audited and as an urgent matter. Number 3, a new IEBC. They want institution of reforms and reconstitution commission for future polls. And of course, multi-partyism. Kenya Kwanza seizes buying off MPs, those that have crossed, to go back to their respective parties. And number 5, the mode of talks. Parliamentary process is not enough, suggests talks similar to 2008 national accords. Of course, that is a story that we are going to look deeply into this morning, but also a story there. Coons, Biden's fixer who struck basis for Kenya's truce. The man who quietly came to Kenya last week, struck a basis for political truce and left without a word, is a quintessential smooth operator. A story covered on page 4 of the Standard this morning. So basically, that is in a nutshell what is covered on the 2 top dailies in the country this morning. Just pick what suits you and have to read deeply and extensively the stories covered by my fellow journalists here this morning. So basically, that is what is covered in the newspapers. Well, after the papers, time to take a short break. Then we'll be right back with our guest in studio to have a look at and try to make a meat of the stories covered by the Daily Nation, the Standard this morning. Of course, the conversation being the new demands by the opposition coalition, that is Azimio la Umoja, after there was sort of a truce that was struck on Sunday, where the president gave, extended an olive branch to the opposition, which they accepted and say they are willing to negotiate. But is it? It seems that things are not even as they look. But that is going to make our conversation this morning a conversation that also have an opportunity to weigh in through our social media pages, Kirk TV Kenya on Facebook, Kirk TV Kenya on Twitter, as well as our SMS number 0311220004. We'll be able to look at what you say. I'm taking a short commercial break, but when I come back, I'm back in studio with one and only Dalmas Otieno to help us understand and make value of what we're going to talk about this morning. Do not go away.
If you are a Christian, during this Easter season, please learn to forgive. People will mock you. People will lie about you. They will make up stories about you. They will even do things that you cannot even think. They will talk behind your back. They will mistreat you. There will be reasons for you not to forgive. But I am telling you, if you are a Christian, the Easter period ought to remind you of forgiveness. If Jesus forgave the sinner on the cross for nothing, he didn't even have time to repent, but Jesus forgave him, you also learn to forgive.
that though we celebrate the birth of Christ during Christmas, but the climax of his first coming and the fact that he came here into the world, the reason he came is so that now we would get to a season of Easter, the moment of his suffering, his death, his resurrection, and later we know he ascended into heaven. And so my listener, in now year 2023, our Easter message, Jesus is alive. He came to give us life. And the reason he gave himself up, he demonstrates the love of God. And we see, though he was sinless, he was innocent, though he was perfect, but he accepted at the cross to take the burden of our sin and actually to lay all our burdens, our guilt, even taking upon himself the curse so that we would get eternal life.
John Maxwell once said, "A reader is the one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way." Simply put, readership is all about vision and influence. Join me, Robert Waihenya Goge, the Secretary General of the Presbyterian Church of East Africa, every first Monday of the month from 8 p.m. as we microscopically look at the reality, specificity, and simplicity of leadership only on Kirk TV. Specificity.
Uongozini, a show by the leader, for the leader.
Na nĩ maũndũ maingĩ mũno Jesũ ekire mũtharaba-inĩ, na mũtharaba nĩ wa bata, na nĩguo ũtũririkanagia wĩra mũrĩku ũrĩa Jesũ atũrutĩire mũtharaba-inĩ. Na gũtirĩ kĩndũ kĩngĩ tũngĩongerera, na nokĩo tũngĩina rwĩmbo tuge atĩ ndirĩ na ihaki niĩ ngwĩhoka mũtharaba. Kĩo gĩakwa kĩnene kĩhana maithori itingĩhingia watho, no Jesũ nĩ aũhingirie tondũ wa gũtũkuĩra mũtharaba-inĩ. Na koguo tũgĩciria ũhoro ũcio, na tũgĩciria ũrĩa Jesũ Kristo atũkuĩrĩire mũtharaba-inĩ, rekei twĩcirie ona ithuĩ ũrĩa tũngĩikara mũtũrĩre ta ũcio Jesũ aikarire, wa kwĩyuma ta ũrĩa Jesũ eyumire nĩ tondũ witũ.
If you are a Christian, during this Easter season, please learn to forgive. People will mock you. People will lie about you. They will make up stories about you. They will even do things that you cannot even think. They will talk behind your back. They will mistreat you. There will be reasons for you not to forgive. But I am telling you, if you are a Christian, the Easter period ought to remind you of forgiveness. If Jesus forgave the sinner on the cross for nothing, he didn't even have time to repent, but Jesus forgave him, you also learn to forgive.
we celebrate the birth of Christ during Christmas, but the climax of his first coming and the fact that he came here into the world, the reason he came is so that now we would get to a season of Easter, the moment of his suffering, his death, his resurrection, and later we know he ascended into heaven. And so my listener, in now year 2023, our Easter message, Jesus is alive. He came to give us life. And the reason he gave himself up, he demonstrates the love of God. And we see, though he was sinless, he was innocent, though he was perfect, but he accepted at the cross to take the burden of our sin and actually to lay all our burdens, our guilt, even taking upon himself the curse so that we would get eternal life.
Na nĩ maũndũ maingĩ mũno Jesũ ekire mũtharaba-inĩ, na mũtharaba nĩ wa bata, na nĩguo ũtũririkanagia wĩra mũrĩku ũrĩa Jesũ atũrutĩire mũtharaba-inĩ. Na gũtirĩ kĩndũ kĩngĩ tũngĩongerera, na nokĩo tũngĩina rwĩmbo tuge atĩ ndirĩ na ihaki niĩ ngwĩhoka mũtharaba. Kĩo gĩakwa kĩnene kĩhana maithori itingĩhingia watho, no Jesũ nĩ aũhingirie tondũ wa gũtũkuĩra mũtharaba-inĩ. Na koguo tũgĩciria ũhoro ũcio, na tũgĩciria ũrĩa Jesũ Kristo atũkuĩrĩire mũtharaba-inĩ, rekei twĩcirie ona ithuĩ ũrĩa tũngĩikara mũtũrĩre ta ũcio Jesũ aikarire, wa kwĩyuma ta ũrĩa Jesũ eyumire nĩ tondũ witũ.
John Maxwell once said, "A reader is the one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way." Simply put, readership is all about vision and influence. Join me, Robert Waihenya Goge, the Secretary General of the Presbyterian Church of East Africa, every first Monday of the month from 8 p.m. as we microscopically look at the reality, specificity, and simplicity of leadership only on Kirk TV. Specificity.
Uongozini, a show by the leader for the leader.
All right, we are back. Thank you for sticking there. This is Kirk in the Morning. My name is Vincent Kerosi, of course, and now I'm joined in studio by one and only Dalmas Otieno. We've had him before here in this show and other shows that we've held here at Kirk TV, and he's due back now to help us understand what he makes of what is happening in the country pertaining the truth that let's say if it is that was struck on Sunday, where the president extended an olive branch to the opposition, which they accepted. But yesterday there was a shocker when the Azimio leader Raila Odinga came out with what we call new demands, or the way that he wants the talks to be structured. And men say that the demands are not easy to meet. And that's why we're here to look at that. But I want to give you an opportunity for us to say hi, because it's been quite a while.
Thank you.
And ask you, have you been in Mandamano for the past few weeks? Because I know you are a strong agent of Azimio la Umoja and Kenya.
Very, very true.
Yeah.
Good evening again. My name is
Good morning, actually.
It's good morning, sure. My name is Dalma Sotieno.
Yeah.
I've been here before, and again we are back here.
Mandamano.
Mandamano has been good, and I think we are going to bear fruit still.
You've been a part of this.
I've been part of this.
Why are you hitting us, Bana? Journalists, we are doing our job.
Actually, we love you very much, journalists. And of course, I would really, first, I want to condemn the strongest terms possible following what happened from police forces. It was not an order for the police to interfere with even the covering or whatever, fighting the journalists. I know journalists are never sided. When the right is right, they always call it a spade, not a big spoon. I know it was so uncalled for to see this one happening, and that's all I can say. And I feel sorry for what happened.
Yeah. Let's just get into this, and let's begin by what is your take on what happened on Sunday? And tell us, because I know you are close to the quarters of Azimio la Umoja. Help us understand how long had the talk behind the scenes taken for the culmination that we saw on Sunday to take place?
Okay, you know, we all know what has been going around. The country has not been stable. Those 2 weeks, the last 2 weeks, nothing has been happening in this nation. The economy has been paralyzed. No business, people has not been going to work. And this one, you remember when this is happening, however much you are trying to, we are working for the welfare of common mananchi, because all these mandamanos, definitely, it does not just affect the high class. Actually, even the high class does not even see this. The only affected person is the man who is living hand to mouth. This is someone, maybe a Mjengo guy, who believes that they only get to work to get what they're going to eat today. Yeah. They work for something they're going to eat today, you see. It's unlike these rich people who have already invested. They can even sleep day to day, but money still come in. So us seeing what happened on Saturday and Sunday, it was something, of course, we expected at the end of the day that we will come to a reconciliatory moment whereby things will be able to be addressed in a sober manner, and resolutions lies within these two gentlemen, that is Raila Amolo Odinga and Miriam Samuel Ruto. They exactly know what Kenyans require. Kenyans does not require violence. Neither Kenyans require chest thumping. Kenyans require service delivery. And if that is the way to go, let them find us a long-lasting solution that will see this one does not come again in faces of this nation. Yeah. Yeah,
and I mean, I ask, what is your take on Sunday? Was it long overdue, or it was just the beginning of a process that we are going to see even evolve in the days to come?
This is just but a beginning to see Kenya as a nation getting to where it is supposed to be. And it was, to me, my take, it was so good to me seeing first William Samoei Ruto realizing that chest thumping is not the way to go. I was very much happy also to see Raila Amolo Odinga bringing down his ego. However much, you know, it was not a matter of who is right and who is wrong, and even the president himself said that. You see, Ruto himself said that. It was not about who I'm right and this person is wrong, no. It was for the welfare of this nation now. And to me, it was a very happy moment, and of course I celebrated over it. Seeing Raila Amolo Odinga coming down, Ruto coming down, they are the people who actually can give us a long-lasting solution. And I hope the dialogue that we are going to have will be resourceful, that it's going to see us making steps in every corner.
But the insistence from both sides is no handshake.
We don't want that.
The president says, I'm not going to do any handshake. The opposition, we are not interested in a handshake.
True. To me, even I don't advocate for handshake. What the meaning of handshake? That handshake that is going to bring maybe what Kenyans might not expect. We need a situation where the government still remain a government. If it is indeed, but though the following, you all know very well, we are the people who won, not that we are the people who won. We are the people who won. Azimio won the elections. Mm-hmm. Let the truth be said.
That's according to
that's
you.
According to us.
Okay.
Yes, and we believe that he won. And if told that is something that, to me, now on my take, if I told that is something that we cannot maybe be able to reach now, to meet now, maybe opening the server and all that, then let's have a platform where the voice of common mananchi is going to be heard. As in, that means we are going to answer, the government is going to answer a question of the high cost of living. And also at the same time, we'll be able to know where how are we going to deal with our electoral system, that every year there must, every election cycle, there must be chaos, there must be questions around the electoral process. And this is the question we need mostly. Actually, the whole conundrum is about the electoral process.
It's not about the cost of living there.
Right now, cost of living is still high. And we really want to see, if at all the reconciliations, the agreement between these two people are going to materialize, then what we expect is to see the cost of unga. Because I remember very well when Mr. Ruto was going around asking for votes, he said that will bring the cost of unga to 100 shillings. And actually, you need to hit to that. You see? This is something they just said barely 8 months ago, which means something that is still clear and pure in people's mind. And actually, as you can see it today, we are buying unga at 250. That is something uncalled for. Yes.
And some of the demands that the Azimio la Umoja coalition is, bringing forth as bare minimums or reducible minimums for that matter, is one, the cost of living. They want the cost of living addressed, and this is what they are proposing, that the government ensures that the bay of unga 2 kg packet comes down to 100 shillings. At the moment we are around 200 or so.
250, somewhere there, 230 to 50. Yes,
that's the price that it's retailing for. And bringing it down to 100, is it realistic from the point of things?
This is something
given that the government has said they're not going to do subsidies at all.
And let me tell you now, I remember when we were just about to go to elections, unga was at 100. I personally bought that unga. It was in Naivas supermarket, it was in Quickmart, it was in so many supermarkets.
But it wasn't available for everyone, that is the truth.
Now, this is what happened. A section, somebody somewhere had realized that this unga maybe was like a campaign tool for the Azimio. They thought like that, of which it was not actually. It was in good faith, just for the welfare of the Mananchi. Now, someone went ahead to buy this unga in bulk, then kept it. Actually, that unga was kept. Someone went, bought that maize, then they kept it somewhere.
They hold it.
They hold it. To see that now you'll see at the end of the day, market is not having the maize. So that is something that we've seen such kind of moves in so many instances. And this is exactly what happened.
But there was a subsidy then?
Yes, there was a subsidy. So someone decided to go to the market and buy, then keep it. You see, it was held somewhere. Then to prove to people that, however much they're saying, unga is there. There's no unga, you see. And indeed, I know it was there. So we are asking the Kenya Kwanza government, if a matter of unga, they want to question, if the question of unga is anything to go by, and of course we know it's something to go by, they need to subsidize unga. This is something that does not require any discussion, in fact. Those were short-term solutions. Remember when they said that in 100 days in office, the hunger was to come down. So there's almost how many days in office? The number of days in office. So what we are just trying to ask the Kenya Kwanza, please, even answer the call even of that little boy, little girl in Siaya, little girl in Murang'a. Don't just, and the call is just lowering the cost of hunger. I remember the other day, and I don't know, it was in Northeastern, whereby now they are in the Holy Ramadan. The children are not able to do what they normally during such kind of something like that. So they don't eat during the day. They only take food in the evening. You see they are not able now to even hold it. They are not able to hold it. They are not taking it anymore. Reason, there is no food. There are schools that have been closed down because even in some other part of the nation, schools are closed down. Reason, there is no food for children even to, like, it is just pathetic. So we are just asking the government, Kenya Kwanza government, it is possible. Let them, actually the subsidy they're doing in fertilizer is not adding up. You see?
They have said that they're not going to subsidize consumption, but they're ready to subsidize production.
Yes.
And that is what they're doing.
And that is where they're failing it. There are situations. This is a situation that does not now require what they're talking about. We need immediate response on this. Kenyans are suffering. There is no food. And you know what? It is not that there is no maize. Maize is there. Yes. Unga is there. But the price. Because if I told you it was not there, then that one would be another case. But you can see, here there is maize, but the cost is high. Now making the citizens not to afford it at their pleasure. And that is what is happening. So is that a matter of like, they reduce the cost of unga to 100 shillings? Then you'll see people start enjoying. Because you cannot tell me I'll be able to go to Shamba, to my farm, to produce, to prepare the production. When I'm hungry, how will I go to the farm? How? So this is something that does not even require a lot of thinking. It's just a matter of normal logic. Yeah.
And they'll say that what Azimio is saying that addressing the cost of living cannot happen through the bipartisan parliamentary approach. It should be done by experts outside parliament. But the government, what the government proposed on Sunday through the president is that all the talks are going to happen through a bipartisan approach in parliament.
So now,
and this was something that in the first speech that the leader of Azimio la Umoja did immediately after the president, that around 2 hours after the president gave his, was we accept to begin dialogue and we accept to go through the bipartisan approach, way. But yesterday came out and said some of the things cannot be done through a bipartisan approach. So is it, eating your own words or going back?
No. What is happening, you can, as you know very well, Kenya Kwanza has been, they have all through been not competitive in terms of legislation. Remember, the first time, in the first place, even when Azimio would always bring any proposal in the floor of the parliament to be discussed, these guys has never hid for this. You will find all the times, even if whatever bill that comes from the government side, they'll always pass it unanimously, even without trying to consider that, okay, why even passing this law? Why even passing this bill? So it is true that going the bipartisan way, it's a good thing. But do you think parliamentary process will be able to answer this question? Why do I say this? Kenya Kwanza legislators, and remember even some of our MPs went the other side. So they have numbers, and due to that numbers they have, they can even decide to make decisions otherwise in their favor. And remember, this is something that has questions. It is like a court thing, you see. and it has now just been reduced, like, let's have like a friendly talk over this. Of course, it's supposed to be a friendly talk, whereby we make this discussion without any hard feelings. We need to be ourselves. You as Kerosi, I as Dalmas. But you know what? This is the problem in having. Now, it's like we are making some differences over a woman, such as in girl somewhere. Now if you realize that it's a woman that is playing us, now it is us to come and sit talk as friends. And this is the position now we have. Let's agree. You know, it would just be hard for us to have this discussion if Raila and Ruto were still not in good terms. And today, actually, they even from the body language, like, these people are even ready to talk and sit down to talk. You see.
Actually, President is referring to Raila as my brother.
Exactly. And we love that. I really like that. Because who is this person that is ready for violence? Violence is just a recipe for death. It's just a recipe for disunion in the nation. And any government that is fighting with the opposition, there is always no production in that like there's no growth in that given kind of states. So we ask that if at all we require this dialogue to be processful, then let's allow the key players also to come from outside the parliament. I know very well the likes of Chungwa. I know very well the likes of Oscar Sudi. These guys they are overloaded with the power, you know. So, and when power gets you to a head, you may not be able to give.
Power corrupts.
Yeah, like, yeah,
absolute power.
Exactly. You'll be like, you know, we have it. It is ours, and we don't need such kind of characters now. We need people who think otherwise. Actually, I was very happy to see that the day after that talk between that pronunciation from Ruto and Raila, Kimani Ichung'wah really lowered down his ego and he spoke in something very mature. That, okay, let's allow it's a parliamentary thing. We can discuss it. We can talk to our brothers from the opposition. We see what we can do. And that is why I'm telling you that if at all they can sober up their minds, their thoughts, then think otherwise, you see, then we are going to have a very meaningful dialogue. But if they are going to be whom they are, people whom they've been in the government side, then I don't see the reason or the reason why we should even take it the parliamentary way. We should even have maybe the people, the mediators from outside the country, or even from outside, maybe from these other institutions. We can have people from EACC. We can have people from even these church leaders, you see. Yeah, the church who can also be part and parcel of this. We can have people from like different stakeholders. Because peace, even the common man is a stakeholder in peace in a country. So those are the corridors that this discussion should touch, but not to make it parliamentary thing only.
Yeah, I'm trying to look for a statement here that was released by the Secretary General of the UDA party.
Yeah, I saw it.
Cleophas Malala, yesterday, immediately after the press up by the Right Honorable Raila Odinga, and I've got it. This is what he says. Honorable Raila Odinga, in his statement, has confirmed our worst fears that the Mandamano was in fact not genuine from the onset, but a blatant thirst and hunger for power through the back door. In making these unreasonable demands, Raila Odinga has demonstrated his intention to hold the bipartisan parliament process as suggested by the president at ransom. He says that the demands that were pronounced yesterday by Right Honorable Raila Odinga as the irreducible minimums are unreasonable. According to him, they are not genuine.
The unreasonable.
Yeah.
So you see,
you know, yesterday, this is what Azimio la Umoja, one Kenya leader, Raila Odinga, said yesterday. I think I can get that here. He said that after agreeing to go the parliamentary process the other day, he says he doesn't feel the process is going to help solve the concerns. he wants to go what happened in 2008. You remember the National Accord of
I remember.
2008, where we we had, they had to look for experts outside Parliament, and even go out of the country to look for experts to bring people to talk on issues that were of difference then. So what the leadership of UDA says, those are unreasonable.
To me, I've never taken Mr. Malala to be a serious leader, because mostly he's a joker. People like Malala, they are growing, their age is going, but how they think actually, they think are kids. I can tell you that one.
That one is. That one is not.
Okay, let me do that.
That is not our take as a
Thank
team.
you. Okay. Anyway, but what I know about Malala, all the times Malala is joking. I can tell you. Even you can see when people are even looking forward to give serious talks. You see, he still reduced this thing to a level that you could see that he was talking about that. Okay, now that we are going to negotiate, then we should go back. We are going to rebuild, repaint and rebuild our offices which were vandalized in Kisumu and say, so let's have this dialogue first. Let it formalize. Let it materialize to give fruit. Now from there, all this they're talking about will work in a good way. Because you remember, even the Kisumu one, they had even repaired it again. And today you can see, when we almost just had another, it was on Monday or Tuesday or Thursday. When we were just approaching on Thursday, the office had already been burnt again. So which means they had not answered the questions. And now they are trying to force things like, no, bro.
But all the same, we don't advocate for vandalism.
Exactly.
As far as that is
even
concerned.
to me, however much you're going to the streets, it was not the right thing. Even though Article 37 of the Constitution allow us to picket, to demonstrate.
Demonstrate peacefully.
Peacefully and armed.
Yeah.
And of course, that we were doing what we were doing. But you could see, because now power was in these people's head, they could not even take us anymore. With our peacefulness, these people were still just like, oh, these guys might be having knives or other guns in their pocket. They will still just misbehave. Like the last Mandamano of Thursday was the life and death. It was not something we could actually just take it easy.
Yeah.
Things were not so opposite.
Okay.
Yes.
I want us to take a short break so that when we come back now, we look at the other 2 or 3 irreducible minimums by the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition that they want to make part of this talk. And they call them urgent. One of them is on multipartyism. They say that Kenya Kwanza ceases buying of MPs, those that have crossed to go back to their respective parties. I don't know how possible that is, because people went on their own revolution. How are you going to force them back to a house that they feel they don't belong? But we are going to talk about that, and of course look a little bit again on the issue to do with the constitution of or the constitution of the IEBC Commission and how it needs to be done. According to them, the Cherera form must be reinstated.
Yeah.
How possible is that? Because they went through a tribunal process, which is almost as a court process for that matter. But we are going to come back and talk about that. So do not go. We are taking a short break. When we come back to look at the issues that are raised by the Azimio la Umoja coalition and the president yesterday speaking in Rwanda, where he said he doesn't foresee a handshake but is willing to engage through parliament. Do not go away. We'll be right back.
you are a Christian, during this Easter season, please learn to forgive. People will mock you. People will lie about you. They will make up stories about you. They will even do things that you cannot even think. They will talk behind your back. They will mistreat you. There will be reasons for you not to forgive. But I am telling you, if you are a Christian, the Easter period ought to remind you of forgiveness. If Jesus forgave the sinner on the cross for nothing, he didn't even have time to repent, but Jesus forgave him, you also learn to forgive.
That though we celebrate the birth of Christ during Christmas, but the climax of his first coming and the fact that he came here into the world, the reason he came is so that now we would get to a season of Easter, the moment of his suffering, his death, his resurrection, and later we know he ascended into heaven. And so my listener, in now year 2023, our Easter message, Jesus is alive. He came to give us life. And the reason he gave himself up, he demonstrates the love of God. And we see, though he was sinless, he was innocent, though he was perfect, but he accepted at the cross to take the burden of our sin and actually to lay all our burdens, our guilt, even taking upon himself the curse so that we would get eternal life.
All right, welcome back. Kirk in the Morning continues. Before we went on a break, we were talking about the issues that are raised by the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition as reducible minimums. And one of the issues here is to have Kenya Kwanza cease buying MPs and those that have been crossed to the other side to go back to their respective parties. When I'm looking at these people, the ones that crossed to the other side could have done it on their own volition at the end of the day. How do you force them back to a house they feel is not theirs anymore?
Number one, in response to what we've just asked, number one, allow me to tell you this. In Kenya, and not even in Kenya, in most of African countries, they believe when someone is working in the government of the day is when they are at the rightful place. And I want to correct these guys. Anybody who is elected, or rather anybody who is still looking forward to be any politician in this nation, it is not a matter of being in government. You can be a good politician who performs well, because remember, like someone like a member of parliament, it's a constitutional office. Anything they are doing, they are enjoying by the constitutionally. Remember, if it's CDF, you're going to get that money. Why? It is in the constitution. Remember, if it is something like bursary, CDF, these are the money we mostly use. The MPs give that money to maybe for constitutional development things. But for bursary also, it's also included, that money. It is something that is constitutional. If it's a matter of doing roads and everything, there are things that are in the constitution. It is a country governed by the rule of law. And we believe in the Constitution, 2010. So these guys fled to government side when they realized that now it was confirmed, because they did not even cross over before court decided otherwise. When we just petitioned the case, they were still just there on our side. Immediately they confirmed that the court now had denied us that chance, like they confirmed that we lost. Now people were like, no, they cannot be on the opposition side. They are afraid. I don't know why. I thought maybe it could be some other time they were thinking that their salaries will be reduced. No. Being on the opposition, you still enjoy your rights. You still enjoy your salary as you're supposed to be enjoying. These are constitutional offices. So when we are in the when we are writing the constitution, we need not to panic. So it's a matter of like, now in response to what you're asking, these guys cannot actually come this other side. I remember when they were going the other side, they spoke at much. They alleged so much. Oh, they were coerced, and I don't know who coerced these guys. They were coerced to be this side. I don't know what. So many things, which was not even in the place. You see, so being in that other side, I would say that. Let our leader Raila Amolo Odinga also allow them to exercise their
so do you agree that this demand is unrealistic?
That one, not even unrealistic. It might not be able to be taken seriously by these people, because they went there willingly, and these were grown-ups. No one is a child there. They went there willing, and coming back. Maybe it would be on a willing platform again.
But again, maybe he's looking at this from the point of, if you're going to parliament, we're going to do bipartisan, process in parliament, then I need to have a balanced ground.
Yes.
It feels that maybe the Kenya Kwanza is already a majority. And now they bought, the members to the other side. He doesn't have a ground here to balance, even if it's a bipartisan process.
And indeed, let me tell you, even this matter of people say that these guys were bought. No one bought those guys. These people were just a fear that, hey, working with the opposition, like they thought their rights, some of their rights will be squashed when they are in the opposition. They fail to understand that being an opposition is not a sin. Opposition is just it's just a government in waiting, by the way.
The problem we have in Kenya is that the Constitution 2010 does not
recognize opposition
for opposition officially.
But remember, let's forget about the issue of opposition now. Let's talk about the parliamentarians themselves. Remember, these guys are elected by the people of Kenya. They represent constituencies. They are constitutionalized. They have offices that are constitutionalized. They recognize the law that they're legally in these offices. So nothing was actually absolutely going to happen to them. They were just going to be there. Maybe going to State House is what would be the problem to them, then I don't know. But to me, I would maybe just pledge with my leader, that our leader Raila Amolo Odinga, just allow them do what they want. But to me, I oppose parliamentary process. Parliamentary legislation, there, no. I may not agree with that, because there will be biasness. We cannot be able to have constructive ideology that will be able to give us the face of what we really require. And mostly, we were not going to the streets as me only. We were going there to represent the interest of those people who could not speak for themselves. So at least we were blessed, not even blessed, we were in a position to reach out and at least make noise. You see? That is why we were going to the streets. We are trying to air out the grievances of those people who are not able to air theirs. Yeah.
And so you agree that the only way out, according to the Azimio leader Raila Odinga, he says that he wants talks structured akin to the National Accord of 2008.
Yes.
That was led by the then UN
Kofi Annan and everything.
Representative Kofi Annan, the late. This looks to be new demands than what was agreed for on Sunday, as much as also there are talks that according to Raila Odinga, he says that the pronouncement by the president on Sunday was not what was agreed on by the negotiators from both sides.
I agree that to me, actually, let me say this. Even if when Mr. Ruto was coming up and giving his directions, to us it was not an offer. We want to rectify this to the public. It was not an offer. Yes, neither were we even ready for that offer. We wanted to take our seat because we are the people who won. So when we know that people know very well we won. So we were not even requesting them.
People from your side know.
We know that, and with the majority. Even the parliamentary seat we had confirms we won the election. You see? It confirms. So what I'm just trying to say is that let this thing be done in a way that the opposition, not now Azimio side and the Kenya Kwanza, bring something that will be able to work for both of them. Mr. Ruto must not dictate to us how we are supposed to handle ourselves in this reconciliation. We too must not dictate to them what they are supposed to say, or to come up with, the truth they're supposed to come up with. Though my interest is that at least allow the Kenya Kwanza side to come up with something that will be able to hold, rather to merge well with what on the Azimio side. At least we need not to give demands, to give directions. Remember, everyone here believes that they won. We believe we won. Kenya Kwanza believe they won. And the truth is somewhere. You see? So, if it's to talk, let's have the dialogue. And dialogue does not mean that I come with my demands, which are reducible. No. If we decided to talk, to have a conversation, we should not give the minimum irreducible minimums. We need to be open. Then I speak, you speak. I speak, you speak. At the end of the day, we get a solution. Yes.
You find a common ground.
Exactly.
So the another issue is the auditing of the 2022 elections as an urgent matter, according to Azimio la Umoja, One Kenya Coalition. They want the 2022 election servers edited as a matter of urgency.
Yes.
What is, I mean, where are they driving these two? Because they've already agreed to begin a conversation. But they really want to see, is it a point of to bring out the truth, or to, you know, is it also a bit of reforming the issues to do with the electoral reforms here?
You know, the whole conundrum here, as you know very well, is about election. Actually, you can, Azimio was going to the streets. Number one is because of electoral process, which we felt dissatisfied with. Now, for us to even have a long-lasting solution, let's start with reforming the electoral process. Remember of the former one, before IEBC, we had
the
ECK.
Yeah.
So actually, during ECK, they lacked that independency. They could not speak for themselves. They could not even do their own things. Today, these guys, they are recognized by the Constitution, and they are given their own, actually they have their own laws. They have their own platform that they can constitute. They're independent, actually. That's why they call electoral boundaries, independent electoral boundaries commission, which means they are for themselves. They can, so they should not be taking instructions from anybody. You see? Now here, we can see whereby they feel like it's like a capture. I would say that it's like a capture, because I feel that getting the orders, look, we can see today Mr. Ruto is working closely with the IBC, and they wanted to do this thing in a bipartisan way. They were not even going to involve the Azimio side. Remember, this is a political process. So political things must be done through a political process. They were to give a chance for Azimio people to participate, not only Azimio.
But that's what that was done in the IBC selection panel in Parliament, where Azimio turned down the position they were given, the slots they were given. They turned them down.
Let me tell you, there was no way, as I've just mentioned here, it is not in order for us. It was like a blackmail in a way. There's no way you can, at this time, we were having a crisis about the electoral process. There are these people who have been dismissed from offices unconstitutionally. The Cherera 4, if is in my view, if I may be asked, I don't even know what to say because I don't know why they were removed from the office. They are the people who were like whistleblower to us. They said something, and why were they able to be removed from the office? Their time has not expired. The only person who was retired was Mr. Chibukati. You see, I wonder why Cherera would be sent home. Cherera would be still there, and these other 3 commissioners. You see, we were refuting this offer, the offer they were giving us during the IBC selection panel, because it was not constitutionally prepared. It was not constitutionally followed. We need to follow the constitution when we are making, because the laws that are constituted in the Kenyan constitution to govern us on how we have to come up with IEBC officers or the commissioners. Yeah. So it was not duly followed, by the way. They do not follow it, the latter. They need to formalize it, to go back again to it, revise it. They make it something that will be an open forum, whereby when we make this kind of appointment, nomination, it will not be about Kenya Kwanza and about Azimio. It will be about Kenyans. Because remember, who is, now we are talking about the presidency. Because it's the presidency that is raising questions that that election was not conducted in accordance to how they wanted. How about this MCA who lost down there? He was rigged out. They've not spoken about anything because they have no platform. So we want a commission that will be able to address the issues, the question of an MCA who has lost during nomination, who has even lost as independent. Remember, there are even independent candidates. Like I remember last time, the independent candidates were not treated well. Yes. Some of them were denied even chances to vie because of unrealistic things. Asking an independent person to go bring, I don't know how many, of a million actually, people, signatures. Where would you think this person is going to get this? And remember, this time people believe that it's about money. So you're going to someone direct that I want to sign for me here, they'll request money. So maybe you'll have to spend close to 100 million for you to get a million votes, a million signatures.
So these are the kind of reforms that you...
These are the things that we need to address. Let them come. So you see, this one is not now even becoming about issue of, it is not about the Azimio and Kenya Kwanza, but it even includes the independent candidates. Independent candidates. So how are you going to handle this? We need to come up with a platform that will be able to accommodate all these political players. Yes.
Yes, just to look at it specifically, Zimelo Moja, One Kenya Coalition, is asking for the reinstatement of the Cherera form. That is Juliana Cherera, Francis Onderi, Erin Masit, and
Nyangaya.
And yes, in Nyangaya, just Nyangaya. To be reinstated in office, but they went through a tribunal process. Some resigned, 3 of them resigned. Actually, only Irene Masit went through the tribunal process. How then is this process going to be, taken aback for them to be reinstated?
Number one,
this is what the other side, this is what Kenya Kwanza feels is also unrealistic.
No, it is realistic. That one now is like they're not also becoming realistic.
They resign themselves.
Number one, we all know what happened. They were not resigning themselves willingly. You see, it was about pressure. Like it was like, I am even going to withstand this. Even I really applaud Masit. Masit really tried, but however much she decided to follow the due procedure, how it was required. Then at the end of the day, they did not even listen to her. They threw her out. So that is why the likes of Cherera and the other two decided, like, okay, let me now eliminate myself instead of wasting time. Wasting time to, because you can see this was like ending someone's career. Irene Masit now is someone who has is like a form of impeachment. It's like something like that. This is someone now who cannot hold any government office, even though someone like Masit who resigned can get a job. You see, she resigned, so she didn't follow this through Masit. Yeah. For Masit now, you can see her is like she cannot be employed in government office. You see that? Now we are feeling that why would they even be ending someone's career when this person did not even commit any crime? We are trying to plead with the Kenya Kwanza, allow the Cherera Fort back to office. Their time had not expired. We can only now be talking of Chebukati's position, whose time had expired.
And the other two commissioners, of course.
Yeah.
Boya
Mulu and Gulie.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we can now talk of those three, the chair and those other two. We agree with that. But for Cherera, for how they were, they had just come barely, how many just a year? Yes,
it's a year.
It's a year now and some month in office. Let them be back in office. They did not commit any crime. And it is the question, actually, this is what has even made us go to the streets. We feel that their rights were violated. They were not rightfully ousted from office. They were supposed to be serving the nation. And this one is happening just to take care of someone's interest or other feeling. We don't like that. Let them go back to offices. It will not cost Mr. Ruto anything. Remember, even they are going to enjoy, the money they are going to be paid is not from Ruto's pocket. These are taxpayers' money. So we need to sober up. Then allow what is right to be right, what is wrong to be wrong. These guys did not commit any crime, and I agree with that. And you too, I know you agree with that. They never committed any crime.
Well, I don't agree or disagree, but the process took place. Now, let's now have a look at this from the sober side of things. Is this truce, between the government, the ceasefire between the government and the opposition, an opportunity to sit and relook our future as a country, pertaining the issues to do with the electoral process and the cost of living is an issue to sit now soberly and look, these are the issues that we have, and long term, this is how we're going to solve them.
Oh, indeed, I believe that, because in Azimio, you can see we've got very sober-minded guys there, big people who really understand what governance is, and we have people like even in Kenya Kwanza, people like David D. I don't know what that just happened. David D, when we were in NASA with David D, this was a very actually even I can tell you the plan they used in their campaigns. It was a plan we used in 2017. I can confirm to you if you guys did not know that. The plan Kenya Kwanza used to campaign, it was a plan which was there for NASA 2017. And now, during that time, David D was very vocal and could actually speak and give views and even give us thoughts that on how we can handle the economic status of our nation. But because now they are there is something that Kenya Kwanza will have a problem with. Advisors. The advisors are not good people. They need to change the advisors. Because if the guys of the likes of people like Kimani Ichung'wah, the likes of people like Rigathi, giving maybe directions to the president. Actually, Mr. Ruto is a very smart guy. I can tell you this. If he can just get people who are able to give him to help him think, trust me, economy will be good. And that is why we want Raila Amolo Odinga,
advising.
Actually, Raila is a smart thing. You
want Raila to begin advising the president?
Not even begin advising, but his views is more important, very, very much important. These guys can reason together, and I can tell you they'll be able to make Kenya a very great nation. Ruto and Raila, those guys are think tanks. Those guys are smart. we don't want to have a handshake, but let them just reason together. Let them reason together. Those guys are going to take this country to the next level, to a higher level.
And that is why the president insists on an official opposition office that actually he proposed to Parliament the other day.
I agree with that.
Memorandum.
I agree with that.
So he says that what he wants as a government is to have checks and balances.
Yes.
And this is going to be initiated by the opposition.
Yes, that is something I agree with. Totally. I agree with that one totally. Because that Raila does not just address people in the funerals and everything. You know, when he's given a platform, given an office, constitutional office, whereby he can actually go address, give his views, keep the government on check. Maybe, you know, like Mr. Odinga, you know, is a smart person. This guy has always been giving us, he's been a whistleblower for on a number of occasions. From nowhere, you feel like, oh, you see that, oh, he has come up with another scandal. Certain money is being squandered somewhere. This has all along been the work of Raila Amolo Odinga. But when he decided to handshake with Uhuru, I totally disagreed with that moment. They handshaked, then everything stopped. He was not even able to keep the government in check. He was not even able to speak for the people. When the Unga, how did the Unga go to 200 in the first place? How did even subsidy come to Unga at the first place? This is because of the handshake. Yeah. He did not even, they walked together, they laughed together, they had coffee together until they've forgotten their roles. The role of opposition and the role of the government. Yeah. These are two different things.
And that is what the president called among.
Thank you. I agree. I agree with Mr. Ruto. There I agree with him. Let's have opposition that will be able to speak for itself. Let's have a government that is able to speak for itself. And when there is anything that they need to discuss for the prosperity of this nation, they can think together. It's not about life and death. It's not about we are the government, we are the opposition. No. We just reason together. You see? Because when these people meet outside there, I can tell you, when Raila meets with the Ruto, these people are shaking hands, they are laughing. They have got no personal beefs. They have got no personal differences. It's just a matter of maybe, when you see them on the TV, this person is parting words, this person the same time, you think that enemies. These guys are not enemies. They are not enemies.
They are friends.
They are smart friends. It is just a failure of understanding in the public, to the public. Now I'm a Ruto guy, I'm a Raila guy, now we need to fight. No. I even used to tell my people the other side, I don't know what, we cannot be fighting for politicians. Killing someone for the politician is not a good thing. You should not even try to go that direction. Let's just reason.
And what is one thing that Kenyans, the populace now, needs to learn from all this process? As Kenyans, because we've been through such a process in 2008, and 2007-2008, then 2013, well, 2017, it came out strongly, and even previously, there have been talks like this. What do Kenyans need to learn about the political arena of Kenya? Okay,
and 2017, let me start with 2017. Yeah. Raila Odinga shook hands with Uhuru 2018. Yeah. March 9th. March 9th. Yeah. Indeed, they tried. But there is something they did not address. They addressed matters until they've forgotten the key issues. It was not about Raila. It was about Kenyans.
Posterity.
Exactly. Like now, that's why I've asked you, how did even Unga go to that 200 plus? They did not address something. We need to come up, like for today, if you want to address the question of cost of living. I agree with Ruto somehow on how he's talking about the agriculture. We need to, Ruto, actually this country is in a position to even empower everybody in this way. They can even hire these tractors, go farm for everybody in the nation. That's an offer the government can do. Because I know the other countries which are practicing the same. Government offers preparing the land. You now do what is required. They even supply people with seeds. then you with fertilizers. Now, you know, when you are giving a hand in production as a government, now the citizen will be able just to nurture it. You see, at the end of the day, when the production is out now, you'll see that it is now the government that is enjoying. There is no anybody who is coming to cry that, oh, we are hungry. You already have food. Now you can talk of matters, economy development. And economy development starts, if the government we have is responsible, it must start with the government. Talking to wananchi, giving the wananchi the leeway. Like, you know, that's why you see, it's always very funny that you see, initially when I was young, I could see a police officer, then I ran away. We could believe that police officer is a bad person. Yeah. Reason, we were not, the civic education about how we should correlate with the police was not well. I was brought in a way that I see a police officer as a bad person, murderer, like, yes. So, and when I grew up, I came to realize police officer is my brother, is my father, is my sister, is my mother. Like, they are our mothers, they are our fathers, our sisters, and our brothers. We should just be having friendship with them. That is when they can even get to know how to deal with the public, with the common outside here. So it's just a matter of incorporating all the the stakeholders. And I say that the stakeholders of the government, it's the people in authority, is like everybody is a key player in the government. Everybody. The government cannot just say that these elected people who are there and taking now the lead, ruling the government. No. It's about the people, and the people must be involved. That's why it's even important that during public participation, let the common man be given a chance, not a chance, chances to speak. That is when the government can be able to deal with the problems that are facing the nation. Public participation, getting the views from the people. Because I may be coming here, I want to offer you unga when you don't have the problem for the unga. Maybe you have the problem for water. How will you cook that unga when you don't have the water? So maybe I have to come ask you, what do you think we should bring for you? What do you think we should do as a nation? Then the public will also be able to give them the ideas. So from that angle, we'll be able to deal with our problems that have been recurring each and every here, now and there.
Yeah. And even as we conclude, just let's have a look at what the Azimio La Umoja Coalition yesterday said. And this was, they said, we assure our people and Kenyans that our eyes are firmly on the ball, and reiterate that we shall go back to the people at the earliest sign of lack of seriousness by the other side. Is going back to maandamano again really going to help? Is it a step forward, or is 2 steps behind after the sort of ceasefire on Sunday?
What happens here? That's why I was even trying to talk about the people like Malala. You know, the utterances from UDA leadership or Kenya Kwanza leadership is what is now trying to push Azimio to make such kind of demands. Remember, Malala, like they were trying to, if something that is going to take place, in fact it has not even taken place, is when I had the test that started today.
Yes.
Now,
they're still constituting teams.
Exactly.
On both sides. So
now this one, it's like once something has been brought to the court, now a matter before the court should be something that is confidential, like you allow the court to decide on it. Now this is a friendly court that is going to decide for us what is going to happen. You see, let's not speak much over this thing. Let's allow those people who are going to be there speaking for us. We believe they are going to be to sober up their mind, and they are going to give something productive, other than just going there and sitting. At the end of the day, we expect these issues to be addressed. Number one, the cost of living. Unga must go down. That is the main thing that's making even everybody to feel that they should go back to the streets. Yeah. This matter is a matter of like, we need to be serious. We need not be joking around it. Like that's why I was telling you, Malala was joking when he was saying that, now we are going to repaint our vandalized offices in in those Nyanza sites. Like it is now, they are making it a fun. And it's not about joking now. We are not joking anymore. Jokes aside, let's now speak reality. And that is the position. Yeah.
Do you think that these talks need the help of an outsider, one that is not probably from within the government or from within Azimio side, or even from within the country?
Number one.
These talks require a person from outside.
Yes. Remember, we were defeated. We were not in a position to discuss this thing ourselves with the two people here, like Azimio and Kenya Kwanza. We were defeated to do that, which means we were not in a position. That's why you could see Kenya Kwanza was chest thumping. Azimio realized, okay, now now that you've decided to chest thump, now let's go to the streets, let's go to the people, let's talk to the people. Because, you know, as an elected person, when you are not in a position to bring your proposals in the parliament and maybe bring an effect, positive effect, how you maybe require, we always ask, we are allowed, constitutionally, we are allowed to go back to the people. That is something that is is allowed in the constitution. We went back to the people, and the people say that now the thing is, let's pick it. You see, let's now stop the government operations. Because, you know, even those 2 weeks that we were on the streets, I can tell you, if the KRA can give you the report on what they lost, the government lost, the money the government lost every day, so it's a big amount of money. Because remember, on Mondays there was no any business in town. No one would open their business in town. However much Mr. Gashago was saying that, oh, the government will be as usual, people go open your work. Who will risk? You open a shop of what millions of money, goods. You from nowhere you see people coming, like the Mundi Mausi the other day. People vandalized and took everything. Yes, it was so uncalled for. So we're just trying to say that it kept the country on at hostage, whereby we could not operate. Government was not even making anything. So it was something I personally does not even advocate for. But the government is losing money, because when the government is losing, it is us losing. It's not Kenya Kwanza, and it's not Azimio. It is we as a nation losing and weakening our GDP. Yes.
Even as we conclude now, do you see some hope in these talks? Do you see the willingness from both sides to at least at the end of the day come to an agreement, a common ground, and an end to all this push and shove?
On my take on this, I would say that I didn't expect, and I still does not advocate for parliamentary process, because this is political way. We cannot be able to solve this one. This one does not require, because actually, even if possible, the committee that is going to look into this matter, most of them should not even be part of the government. Most of them should not even be part of Azimio. Most of it should not even be touching Azimio and Kenya Kwanza. These players should be outside politics. That's why I mentioned the church. That's why I mentioned the NCIC.
Actually, the church has played a key role.
Exactly. And that's why, and also people maybe from UN and AU, these are the people we expect, foreign bodies, to discuss this matter. Because it cannot be genuine enough to me, or rather even to any other platform, that I want us to find a solution. We have a difference with you, and at the same time, you bring your children to come decide for us here. I bring my children. Obviously, my children will decide with me. Your children will decide with you. You see? Or rather, your wife will definitely decide with you. My wife will definitely decide with me. So we are trying to say that for us to get general report, and also that bipartisan discussion that the president have spoken about, to bring resourceful and rather meaningful result, let's have outside players, not just people within our political cocoons. No. Okay. I later I would advocate that Raila too. It is Raila and Ruto. You see, Raila and Ruto. Those are the two people. We don't recognize anybody in this matter away from Ruto and Raila. You see? Let the deputies sit behind and watch. We can give Raila and Ruto and those now the other people to talk about it, because they are the people who are the difference. And that's the case.
Okay. Okay, but do you see hope?
I hope it's
Is
there.
there hope at the end of the
Hope
tunnel?
is there, because at the end of the day, even these people who are going to give these talks must put the Mwananchi, the Wanjikus in their talks. Mwananchi, number one. It should be about Mwananchi, not Raila and Ruto. It should be Mwananchi number one. Yes, because the sovereign powers lies at the help with the Mwananchi.
Yeah.
So they're the first subject. Yeah.
Okay, I think it's a good point to bring it to a close. It's been a good talk. We still continue to see the development and updates that will come out of these talks that we expect to take shape in the coming days, because both sides are already, looking for individuals who are going to constitute their teams, and we believe that at the end of the day, we shall come out to a common ground, and that is for the sake of the nation, as you said, and for the normal Mwananchi, who actually is the one who suffers when all this happens.
Sure.
I believe that is going to be the case. Thank you for being part of this show. Thank you, gentlemen, Mr. Dalmas Otieno,
Thank you
for
too.
gracing this show. I believe it's a great one. We continue to do this even as we continue to look at the issues that make up the state of the nation. My name is Vincent Kerosi. I want to say thank you once again for being with us. We'll do this again next Wednesday, we'll hopefully have some developments then, but tomorrow is Kirk mid-morning, on Friday, State of the Nation again from 8 a.m. I want to wish you a good day and enjoy the rest of the viewing here, and keep it Kirk TV. Kwaheri.